What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Venice Antoinette,
and Amber Monique,
here with another episode of
Sip and Spill.
And on this show, we sip on drinks while spilling the tea on dating and relationships. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our podcast and give us a 5-star rating. Also, make sure you follow us on social media at sipandspills. That's at SIPANDSPILLS across all social media. Now, let's get started.
24 seconds and you better not stop. You got 24 seconds, can't you beat the shot clock? What you waiting for, little daddy? I ain't got that much time. You seem anxious, you seem adamant, but you ain't pressed my line. Wondering why? No, you ain't shy. I'ma say bye.
All right, guys, now that we've been sipping, it's time to spill some tea with our segment, Ask, Sip and Spill. And Ask, Sip and Spill, you guys send us letters and we spill the tea. You can send your questions to sipandspills@gmail.com. That's SIPANDSPILLS@gmail.com. Time to spill the tea.
All right, let's get into Ask, Sip, and Spill.
Okay, here we go. So our first letter says, my boyfriend has asked to borrow money from me 3 times in the past 6 months. He always pays it
3 times in the past 6? I'm sorry. Go ahead. That just threw me off.
Yeah, that's pretty regular. But he always pays it back when he says he will. Okay. But it makes me a bit uncomfortable.
Oh, you're just being dramatic.
we do not live together or share any expenses. He pays 75% of the time when we go out and even buys me things. So I feel kind of bad complaining. Is this normal or should I address it?
I feel like she's being dramatic. I mean, if the man pays 75% of the time y'all go out, y'all have no expenses together, and he pays you back every time that he asks for money, I don't see the issue.
Yeah, I don't think I would address it. I think maybe I would just insist on paying a little bit more when we go out.
Okay.
Because maybe he's just
that way you're
right. Maybe he's trying to do what he thinks a man should do and kind of overextending himself. But the fact that he pays it back when he says he will, he still treats you to things, pays when y'all go out. He's just trying to be a gentleman. But maybe y'all are still getting to where you aspire to be in life, and I don't know. Yeah, I think I would just I wouldn't address it, but I think I would just start paying a little bit more. What about you?
Yeah, because if he's paying 75% of the time, then I feel like it's reasonable for you to start kind of taking him out more often or offering to buy him things more often.
Yeah.
Because it's clearly taking a financial strain on him. Mm-hmm. And honestly, maybe because guys aren't as open about the issues that pop up in their life,
right,
as we are. So maybe it is maybe he has to support his parents temporarily, or he has to, you know what I mean? Based off of this letter, it's not enough context to understand, but clearly it's something has changed. And so maybe, he's just having a financial trouble right now. So maybe y'all don't even need to go out as much.
That's true. Maybe cook at home a little bit more.
Cook at home.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say, cook him a dinner at home. Yeah. Or he can cook for you, whoever like to cook, and save money, and just chill. Have a Netflix night, have some good sex, have a good time. You don't need to necessarily always go out. And that might, keep money in his pocket so that he's not always asking you. But the fact that he always pays you back is why I feel like it's dramatic. Because when it started off, I'm not even gonna lie, I thought the worst. When it started off with my boyfriend asked to borrow money from me 3 times in 6 months, I'm immediately thinking, girl, cut him off. Yeah. But if he always pays you back, then it's because I know my friends have this issue and they dudes aren't paying them back.
Yeah, so that's where the issue lies.
Right. That's a complete different story. Now we have a problem.
Yeah. But I kind of can understand where maybe it makes her a little uncomfortable, because maybe there will come a time when she truly doesn't have it, and that's kind of awkward to say no, or I don't know. I guess you don't want to make it a pattern of borrowing money every 2 months. But maybe this is a temporary, like, small little thing, you never know.
Yeah, because we don't know how long they've been together.
Right.
I'm just assuming that they've been together for more than 6 months for her to say that he pays 75% of the time when they go out.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yep. Now, this does bring up, though, because I do have a friend who had a similar situation in the sense of not... So, okay, this was the situation. So it was like, her boyfriend typically paid when they went out, and then he needed to borrow money from her, but it was like, a pretty good amount of money. And he didn't pay her back, and his reasoning for not paying her back was because he feels like, oh, well, I always pay when we go out, so it's fine.
No.
Or it evens out.
Because that's not
what are your thoughts on that?
To me, like, that's not what she agreed to. Like, she didn't say, oh, I'll give you this money and it'll count for our dates for the next 6 months. Like, she gave the money with the intent on getting it back. Now, me personally, I don't think I would give out money that I couldn't afford not to get back, period. Because you just never know. But, I mean, he should give it back. I don't agree with his reasoning at all. If you said you were going to give it back, you should do that and stick to your word.
Facts.
What do you think?
No, I 100% agree with that because, and that's exactly what I told her. It was like, that wasn't the agreement. Like, the agreement wasn't, oh, well, I'll pay you back by taking you out. Right. It was more so he told her he was going to pay her back and then made excuses for not paying her back by saying, well, I always pay when we go out. Because the other thing is, she didn't ask, because that's the way I look at it. She did not ask you to pay when you took her out to these places, nor did she ask for you to take her out to these places. Like, I look at that as more so of a gift. Yeah. Like, if a guy's taking me out, on a date and he pays for the date, I look at that almost equivalent to a gift. And you're not going to tell somebody who borrows money and you buy them a Christmas present, like, oh, I don't need to pay you back because I bought you this for Christmas.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So are you saying,
like, that's not...
You saying that he wouldn't have taken her out if she didn't give him the money? Like, is that what you mean? Like, yeah, it's not... It doesn't relate. It's not equivalent.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, in this situation, she said, is it normal or should she address it? I agree with you. I don't think that it's worth addressing. I think what is worth addressing is maybe figuring out the root of his financial struggles and understanding, like, what's going on or what has changed in his life that is, like, making him do that. And you can present that in a way where it doesn't, like, come off disrespectfully. Like, you could present it as, like, I'm really concerned. I don't mind offering you money, especially, and I appreciate that you always pay me back on time. But, to be honest, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep offering you money, and I'm concerned about, like, your well-being and what's going on with you. Like, is there anything I can do to help or whatever? Exactly, and just give him that space to open up to you.
Yeah, like, I like your approach, like, approaching it from, I'm trying to help. Like, with what's going on now, I may not always be prepared to help. So tell me how maybe I can, like, be of a better service, or, like, what's going on, or, like, this isn't like you. I'm just concerned. Like, is there anything I can do, or
right. And make it clear, like, I appreciate that, when we go out, I know I don't have to worry about anything because of this, or I appreciate that you offer to buy me things and, different things of that nature. But, I'm concerned about your well-being and what's going on with you financially. And I don't want to be a burden on you. Like, and I don't want you to feel less of a man if you can't give me these things, because I'm okay if we don't go out, or I'm okay if you don't buy me these things. We can just chill at the crib. At the end of the day, I just want to be with you.
That's the
like, I feel like that's a good way to present it.
And I like what you said about, like, I don't want you to feel less of a man, because he comes from what her description, it sounds like he's trying to be, like, the perfect gentleman, which is awesome. But it would be nice for him to know, like, you're with him, and he doesn't have to live up to something that is causing him to be in financial turmoil, if that's what it's doing. So, yeah. So I feel like, girl, just, it's all about how you position things, and you can get your point across. Exactly. Yes.
Right. But I will say, though, that I do feel like she's being a little dramatic because if the man pays you back and he always pays 75% of the time when y'all go out and buys you things, then what do you have to complain for?
Yeah, I don't...
Like, maybe that's my own naivety, but like, I just don't understand what is there to complain about. And also, how much is he asking you for?
But I kind of feel her because I wouldn't want that to become a normality. You know what I mean? Like, especially if maybe he's overdoing it, like on the end of gifts and going out, like, because I feel like that's a big deal for a man. I don't think it's easy for a man to ask for money. So for him to have to work up that, you know, I don't know, work up the nerve that often to ask for money. But yeah, I don't think I would be to the breaking point where I would have written a letter yet. But,
yeah, and I guess where I was saying that, because I completely agree with everything you're saying, but I didn't receive her letter as she is worried about his well-being. She's more concerned about her own uncomfort and her own like complaints of like, you know, this type of scenario.
Like, he treats
like
her
it would have been different if she was kind of like, yo, you know, how can I figure out what's going on with him? Because the fact that she made it clear that he pays 75% of the time and even buys her things, it comes off like he's the type of man who wants to provide and protect for his woman.
Right. So
and that's just what his norm is. So clearly this is abnormal.
Yeah.
So it's like figuring out what the root of the issue is, I feel like is the priority rather than you being like, this makes me uncomfortable giving my man money who pays all the time. Like,
I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, obviously it seems like it's a lot. It's got to be something going on with him.
Yeah.
He doesn't sound like the type that would just ask you for money, especially if he's paying it back. Like, he's not that type that you need to worry about.
Yeah, but I completely agree with everything you're saying in the sense of like, I would feel uncomfortable, but not because of the fact that I'm giving him money. It's more so of the fact that this isn't a norm for him.
Right.
So clearly there's something going on that he had to step away and, you know, put his pride aside and ask me for money 3 times in 6 months. Because like you said, that's every other month.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, so it's like,
she should get
to
the issue.
Girl, I just say you being a little selfish, you know, and I think you need to put your own feelings aside and figure out, you know, what the issues are with him, because it sounds like he's, you know, a good man and he's trying to provide for you and, you know, do what he can to make you happy. And maybe you are that financial strain on him right now, unfortunately. And so... Yeah, you could be. And so it's like figuring out how can you ease his world. And then, you know, when he gets back up on top, I'm sure he's going to pay it back in full or, you know, buy you whatever you want or take you out even more. But right now, for the time being, especially if this is like somebody you see a future with and somebody you want to, you know, build with, y'all should just like chill out. Like, I'm all about being financially responsible.
100%.
And so if you're his burden, that's him being financially irresponsible by constantly trying to make you happy by taking you out and by buying you things, you know?
That's so true, because if you add up all the dates and the things he's bought for her,
facts,
would he need to borrow money?
That's exactly what I was trying to get at.
Probably
exactly.
Not. Yep.
Like, if you take out all the dates that he took you on, or I mean, not all of them, but you know what I mean, like, you know, a good amount of them, and you take out the things that he bought you and say y'all decide, okay, instead of going out on dates, I'll cook for you this week, you cook for me this week, or we'll have a Netflix night, or, you know, it's just like chill. I'm sure he's not going to ask you for money no more. So then it's like your whole discomfort of giving him money is going to go away. And also his discomfort of asking you for money is going to go away, because I hope you don't think he's comfortable asking you for money, because it doesn't sound like he's that type of guy to begin with. Because if he was that type of guy, he wouldn't be paying 75% of the time y'all go out.
Yeah, no, it definitely. And for a man like that to ask for money, I feel like that takes a lot.
That says a lot. Like, yeah. So, yep, I'm good on that. Did you have anything else to add?
Nope, that's about it.
All right. So the next letter, the subject line is, has my female friend caught feelings for me? let's get into it because I haven't read this one yet.
Okay.
We've known each other for years. She's really pretty, full of life, bubbly, intelligent, and high responsible. Sir, I need you to get your English together. I'm sorry. I've always had a soft spot for her, but I've noticed that recently those feelings have gone way beyond meet friendship. Okay. I should have read this first so that I could correct his English for him. I'm sorry, y'all. That recently those feelings have gone way beyond meet friendship. So I guess he's saying they've gone beyond just friendship.
Okay.
We went out for dinner with another close friend, and I noticed that she tends to look at me way more than him. If she's talking to him, it's almost as if she's talking more to me. There was a moment, too, when we locked eyes for quite some time. She looked down and to the side and then back up and smiled. Oh, he is detailed. It's only just a feeling that she might like me back for the moment. And then it says she's my ex-friend.
My ex-friend? Maybe his ex's friend?
Oh, yes. You're right. Yes, she's my ex's friend. Okay. It's an apostrophe S. Yes. The way I take this after reading this is I feel like he has feelings for her.
Yeah.
And he's reading into it.
I felt the exact same way.
Like,
because she hasn't, it's like he's almost trying to find ways to believe it. Like, none of the signs some of the signs he said it could have been, but nothing sounds like, oh yeah, she's definitely into you. Like, people look at you when they're talking to you, and people could make eye contact with you and look away and make eye contact again.
Yeah, and maybe she's more comfortable with you than y'all's mutual friends. So maybe that's why when your friend was talking and she was looking at you, it was just her comfort level because she knows you type of thing. But
or maybe he's picking up on a vibe that we can't feel. Who knows?
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't think, well, actually, now that I know that's your ex's friend, because I didn't read that. Like I said, I didn't read this letter at all prior. I just read the subject line. But it was like, now that I know that's your ex's friend, that's messy.
Yeah. Shouldn't be considering it.
Yeah, that's really messy. If this was just your female friend, I would say, you know, I don't think it's wrong to, like, express your feelings and then make it clear that, like, you know, if she doesn't feel the same way back, if the friendship is important to you, like, you know, just be like, I understand. I don't want to ruin the friendship. But I don't know. Based off of this, I'm not getting the vibe that she's really into you, man. Like, I'm getting it like you're trying to nitpick at every little thing because you have feelings for her.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's just being normal.
I feel like girls will make it way more obvious that they're not way more obvious, but I just feel like there would have been more things to tell us than eye contact that would stay.
I don't know though, because I'm not going to fraud. Like, when dudes are confused when they find out that I like them, I get it, because I just like I don't really know how to show interest in somebody.
But what about, like, I mean, I can be the same way. I'm not going to, like, just be overt with it. I guess I get it. But, like, he didn't mention anything about social media. Maybe he's not on social media. We don't know.
Well, he was specifically, it seemed like this letter, he was specifically talking about an instance where they went to dinner and he was reading what happened, like, between him, her, while they were there with his, like, their mutual close friend who was also a guy.
He didn't say anything about, like, physical contact. Like, she didn't, like, tap you or anything, or, like,
I guess I'm giving the benefit on the doubt with that because, I mean, honestly, let's be real, Amber. Let's be real. If you was out with one of your guy friends or guy homies who you, like, secretly had a soft spot for, secretly had a thing for, and it was you, him, and say like me or like, you know, somebody else, would you offer any form of sign?
No, you're right. I actually
know you, so you can't lie to me on that. So it's like, would you offer any form of sign that you're interested? Exactly.
You're right.
That's my point.
You're right.
Exactly. That is exactly my point. Like,
you're right. I would play it super cool. Like I would try to actually show less attention, probably.
Exactly. And I feel like girls, we just naturally do that because we aren't used. I mean, there are obviously women out there who are more comfortable with like being more like they're willing to approach a man or make it more clear. Mm-hmm. But I know for me, and especially for you, we just aren't like that. Like, so it's like the only way that a guy could pick up that from us is literally our eye contact.
You're right.
That's literally the only way that they would be able to pick it up. Like, yeah, so that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know based off of this letter whether or not she truly is interested and whether it's just in his head because he likes her so much. But from my standpoint, I think it's, if he likes her enough, it's worthwhile for him to kind of, you know, just put that out there. Like, because if it's like something where you really are feeling her and that kind of thing, you could just always express how you felt, you know, with this dinner. Like, hey, you know, maybe I read this wrong, let me know. But, you know, I feel like you were kind of feeling me the same way I'm feeling you. And I've always kind of had a little soft spot for you. So would you, you know, be interested in going out with me? And she's either going to say yes or no. And if she says no, make it clear, like, okay, you know, our friendship is still very important to me and I don't want to make it uncomfortable to you. And if you need space away from me, I get that. But yeah, I don't feel like it's not work. Well, I take that back because this is his ex's friend.
That's what I was forgetting that. I was about to say.
I keep forgetting that. Like, yeah, you got to take the bullet. Like, you just got to take the bullet on this. Like,
yeah, that's so messy. Like, and some people say ex very casually. Like, was it somebody that you dated for like a month?
Or is it somebody you dated like 10 years ago?
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, like those things matter.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Yeah.
And how close to friends. Well,
but I mean, I'm basing it because it says that he said that the female friend he's talking about is 20 and he's 25. So I feel like whoever his ex is can't be that. It couldn't have been that long ago.
Yeah, no, I doubt it. Yeah. Just stay away from that messy situation. Like, maybe she's just a hater of your ex, and she's just...
So, like, do you have no respect for your ex?
Right, exactly.
Now I'm coming at you. I'm sitting here. I'm sorry. Now I got to come at you. Why are you trying to date your ex's friend?
Can your ex date your friends? How would you feel if your ex did that?
Yeah, I need to understand how long ago y'all dated. Like, because if it's like, okay, that was like 10 years ago. Okay, I get it. You know, to an extent, I could kind of understand that. But based off of not his age, because he's 25, but based off of the friend's age, who's 20, I'm assuming that his ex is around her age. So they couldn't have been dating that long ago.
Right. Well, I hope not.
Right. Yeah, because then we talking about legal trouble. Mm-hmm. So we don't want to put nobody in jail.
Right.
But but like, yeah, I need to understand this because why are you trying to like date your ex's friend?
Were y'all all friends before? Yeah, why are you at dinner with your ex's friend at all? Like,
that's true, because they all could have been friends before and then he just dated the other friend.
Could have been.
And then changed his mind.
It could have been. We don't
and
know.
I mean, I get that happens.
It does.
But I just personally don't like to be in those type of struggles and messes. Because I'll be transparent with you guys. I recently had a situation where an old friend of mine, from me and her were friends for years. Like, now we're kind of like coexist. Like, I wouldn't consider us like friends, but like if we see each other, it's still like, you know, we show love type of thing. And one of her exes from years ago, like probably 9 years ago, maybe 8. Mm-hmm. I started kind of feeling like a crush for.
Mhm.
And it's like, I used to have a crush on him back in the day because all of us were friends. Like, we were a big group of friends. And then him and her started dating. But prior to them started dating, I always had like a little crush thing for him, kind of. But, you know, once they started dating, I kind of like, you know, completely X that out because I don't date my friends like ex's boyfriend. I'm not that type of person.
Mhm.
But recently I saw him, you know, we were hanging out and I started like building a crush for him. So it was like I had to like address it to myself because I was like, well, I don't want to make it even though me and her aren't good friends anymore or that close anymore, I don't want to like make it weird, like type of thing. And also I'm not really interested in any like dating somebody who's her ex.
Right.
But I still do have like that feeling, if you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel you. Like, that definitely happens. I feel like for me, if it was 10 years ago, I would care less.
I knew you were going to say that.
But I guess it depends. I guess I'm thinking like, were they like serious?
So like for me, it's like, okay, a lot of the reason what's holding me back is because of the fact that I still have to, in a way, being around this person. And I'm not going to go into detail on that because then if somebody listens to this, they'll figure out who I'm talking about.
Right.
But I still have to be around this person who was my friend. And so that's why I don't want to like pursue the situation, but I do know that if I express interest in this, you know, this person who is my, like the guy who's my friend, I feel like he also would like, you know, kind of be okay with it and he would be like an awesome partner. But like I said, because I have to be around the person who was my friend and we still have like that respect for each other, and even though we're not good friends like we were and we don't talk as much, just because I know I have to be around her because of certain situations, I don't want to cause any drama or any discomfort in that.
I feel you. I would be the same way. But it's a shame because it kind of is a small world. And it's like you don't find people that you click with that easily. And and I'm not saying like get with your friends' exes, but like 10 years ago we were like teenagers, you know? So
no, facts,
it's not like anything was that serious, but but I feel what you're saying at the same time. So I don't know. It's sticky because I would feel the same way, but in the grand scheme of things, like it really shouldn't matter. But yeah, that's sticky.
Yeah. But in this situation, it definitely couldn't have been 10 years ago because that would put him at 15 and the girlfriend at 10. So that's like impossible. So it had to be fairly recent. So, I just feel like you just got to let that go, bruh.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it. Because if it wasn't that long ago, you got to think, what kind of girl is this that she would get with her friend's recent ex? Do you really want to be tied up with somebody like that? Because she'll do you the same way that she's doing her friend at some point.
Facts. And if you made a typo, because you know you did make a few typos in here, and you meant that this is like your ex-friend, then I say okay,
that's totally different.
That's different. But if you're saying she is your ex's friend, you know, I'm looking at you a little sideways, bro. Now I definitely think you're reading into the situation.
A little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So anything else you want to add?
I think that sums it up for me.
Perfect. That wraps up at Sip and Spill. Make sure you send your questions to sipandspills@gmail.com. All right, guys, that wraps up this week's episode of Sip and Spill. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our podcast and give us a 5-star rating.
You can also find us on social media at Sip and Spills. That's SIPANDSPILLS.
And until next time,
I'ma say bye.